This describes me to the T right here.
There's a young man in this church, and I asked him permission to tell this dream. He told it to me last week, and it really shook my heart because I know the battle he's been fighting. He's been saved from alcoholism, and he went out and got stoned a couple weeks ago, and the Lord is bringing him a long way now. But he's kind of been taking things for granted. And last week he had a dream, and in this dream he was dying, and he was on a dock, like he was about to be launched out into eternity, and he was crying out for the Lord, "Oh, Jesus, Jesus!" And there was no answer. Jesus wasn't there. And finally the answer came. Too late, you've crossed the line. Too late. And he said, I could feel myself slipping back, and I was falling and getting further and further away from the Lord. And he said the sense of being, his presence gone. The presence of Jesus wasn't there anymore. It was just darkness. And he said it was terror. And I heard voices saying, you took it for granted. You took it for granted. And he was telling me, in fact, I recorded it again Friday night because I wanted to get it straight in my heart.
This man sounds exactly like me.
He said, Brother David, it dawned on me. The game that I was playing. And the game was simply this. Look, the Lord's got a call on my life. The Lord called me. Therefore, he won't let me die and go to hell. He's called me. He has his hand on me. So he'll always bring me back. And he's backslidden a few times and come back, and the Lord's always been there. But he said, I realized there's going to come a time that he won't be there, that the door will be shut. And he had this idea, well, because God has his hand on me and he's called me, I can go out for a while and indulge my sin. I can do this and then I'll come back because God has his hand on me. God has called me. God wouldn't let anything happen to me. God knows I want him deep in my heart. God knows I cry. God knows I pray. But he said, Brother Dave, I found out that God says I'll choose somebody else. He said that call that I had, I abused it. And I'll tell you what, he's sitting here tonight and he's shaken by it. It's still hounding his spirit because he has felt the agony and the terror of the door being shut. And Jesus saying to him, you took my presence for granted. You would not let my word change you. In that sense of being shut out.
Yep. Jesus, when I gave everything to Jesus in that jail, and he came in my life and started working to take what I had given him, and I resisted, fought tooth and nail, trying to get my dreams, trying to get him to make me into a good-looking guy, and finally Jesus shut the door on me. He's not coming back. I'm going to hell when I die. David Wilkerson said it right there. Jesus, it's my fault. It's my sin, but it's my fault. But also, I say Jesus' love for me was not everlasting. Once I felt Jesus telling me, I once loved you, Chris, just not with an everlasting love. I just did not elect you to be saved. One night, I'm like this man, I was asking, praying, Lord, you were going to use my life for such good. You could use my life for such good. I felt the Lord telling me, I don't need you. I can get somebody else to take your place. Yep, Jesus says, I did not endure with him to the end, so his love, I failed the test. So his love for me failed the test, and that it was not an everlasting love. He's given up on me. If you have given up on me, Lord, can you at least let me be the good-looking guy and have the longer arms and look in my 20s? But better yet, Jesus, is there any way, instead of that, where I said, Jesus, is there any way I can get back what I have with you, Jesus Christ? You can heal me. Is there any way, Jesus Christ, please? But that's the one thing that confuses me about this man, David Wilkerson. In one breath, he says, you can be a child of God and take Jesus for granted, and he'll shut the door on you, and you will die and go to hell. What about what he says in this sermon? I don't get it.
But I'm here to tell you that God does not give up on any of his fallen children, no matter how low you sunk, no matter
bullshit. He's giving up on me.
What you have done, God, by his Spirit, does not give up on you.
And what about that man in your sermon I just played before this? Which one is it, David? Either God does not give up on his children or he does. Which one is it? Which one is it, David? He's giving up on me.
And here's the lie of the devil. You can't go back to God because he's angry with you now. You sinned against him. You can't go back. In fact, he's permitted me to take back the power over your life.
Which the devil has done.
You cannot go back. God really doesn't want you back. There's no way you can make it up to him.
He will not take me back.
This is the subtle lie of the devil that is holding millions of fallen Christians, millions of backslidden Christians, holding them in darkness and fear and anxiety. The sense that I can never make it back to God. I'll never make it up to him. I'll never measure up. I have failed him miserably. I don't even know if he wants me back. I've heard some of them say, well, Brother David, they'll meet me on the streets. Then they'll say, hi, Pastor, and they're high as they can be. And then I discovered they used to attend Times Square Church. And they'll hug me and they still love, they say, I still love the Lord. I still love Jesus.
Look at how
but they're absolutely bound by this lie.
Fuck.
I have grieved him so much. I have heard him. And one young man said, Brother Dave, look, you can preach that, but you don't have the slightest idea how low I've sunk. You have
Amen.
the slightest idea what I've done.
That's me.
If you knew what I've done,
amen,
you wouldn't even talk to me.
That could be me saying that.
You would never tell me. In his words, he was saying, you could never tell me that God can forgive what I have done.
Especially.
But I'm here to tell you that God does not give up on any of his fallen children. No matter how low you sunk, no matter what you have done, God, by his Spirit, does not give up on you.
Oh, then why did you say this? Right here.
Shut. And it's still hounding his spirit because he has felt the agony and the terror of the door being shut. And Jesus saying to him, you took my presence for granted. You would not let my word change you. In that sense, it's being shut out.
Which is it, David Wilkerson? God will shut some of his children out, or God does not give up on any of his children? David, which is it, David?